For this tutorial, I'm using the Audio workspace. You can reset the workspace by clicking on the Workspace's panel menu and choosing Reset to Saved Layout. Adobe Premiere Pro has a range of audio effects you can apply to clips in sequences to improve sound quality or make creative changes. In this project, I have a simple dialogue sequence, and I'd like to add some effects to the clips. To make it easier to see what we're doing, I've separated the two voices in this sequence onto different audio tracks. I'd like to add some EQ to these clips, and I'm going to do it using Audio Effects. Audio effects are available in the Effects panel, and they have a category of their own. To apply an effect, drag it onto a clip. I'll just zoom in a little on the timeline here so we can see the clips more easily. And I'll scroll down a little in the Effects panel to find the effect I want. It's this one, Parametric Equalizer. I'll drag this onto the first clip in the sequence, and you'll notice the Effects badge lights up to show that an effect has been applied. You can also apply an effect by selecting a clip, as I am here, and double-clicking on the effect that you want. Again, you can see the Effects badge lights up. Both approaches work if you have multiple clips selected. I'm going to select the rest of the clips on this track, and I'll double-click on this effect again to apply it to those clips. You'll notice, if I move the playhead out of the way, I can't see the Effects badge on that third clip, but that's just because we're zoomed a little too far out in the sequence. If I view the Effect Controls panel, which by default shares the same group as a number of other panels up here with the Audio Clip Mixer, you'll notice that I can't see the settings for the effect that I've applied. It's in the Effect Controls panel that you're going to modify these settings, but you can only view the effect controls for one clip at a time in this panel. So I'll deselect by clicking on the background of the timeline panel and select a single one of these clips by single-clicking on it. I'll just resize the dividing line a little bit here inside the Effect Controls panel so we can see those settings more clearly. This particular effect gives access to all of its individual controls inside the Effect Controls panel. And this is useful because you'll see we have these stopwatch icons that allow us to animate all of the settings over time. But if I scroll up, you can see we have an Edit button, which takes us into a custom setup interface. If you're familiar with Adobe Audition, this interface may be familiar to you. In fact, this is the same effect, and it's one of many that are fully compatible if you send a project from Premiere Pro to Audition for audio finishing. Several audio effects will have this kind of additional interface, and it's pretty important to check out because it can make it much easier to access and modify the settings. I'll just close this interface. You can remove effects by selecting them in the Effect Controls panel, as I have here, and pressing Backspace or Delete. For a full overview of available effects and their settings, check out the online Adobe help.